Howdy, howdy. Sue Devil here, and welcome to this 2v2 online battle with me and Soulhammer. We got together to do a double Dowie build, invited people to come on in, and we got two friends that popped in to fight us. In our double Dowie Dwarf build, I'll just go over our builds here real quick. We're fighting a double Empire build, which is really fun. We've got, and for my front line, I've got Longbeards, and to spread them out, we don't have any artillery in either of our builds. We just want to get to the front line, so I got, I think, 4 units of Longbeards, and I've got the Grumbling Guard, Longbeards with great weapons in my back line, 2 groups of Slayers here and here, and in my very back line, I do have some Longbeards with great weapons as my reserves, some Dwarf Warriors, and I have 2 units of Bugman's Rangers here. And in the very far back corner, I have 2 units of Bugman Rangers here to do a stealth mission for Soulhammer's army. His front line, he has Longbeards, which are just a great choice. So 5 units of Longbeards. He has Quarrelers with great weapons down the center, just in case we need some armor piercing down there. Oh, my leadership too, forgot. I have a Rune Lord, and he is on his mount, so he has the Locus of Power, 15% magic resistance for everyone. So we'll get back to Soulhammer's army. He has Quarrelers with great weapons in his backline reserves. He has 2 Longbeards with great weapons and 2 groups of Slayers. He does have the Slayer King, Ungrim Iron Fist, and a Thane with, I think he has a Tormentor Sword, yes. And on this side, he has another group of Quarrelers with great weapons for backline defense and 2 units of Bugman's Rangers on the far flank. And they're going to start engaging right away against these Outriders with grenade launchers, who can get some work done against low armored troops. And so for our opponent's army, they do have 4 units of Outriders with grenade launchers that are going to skirmish a little bit. And they're trying to out-dwarf the Dwarfs with a bunch of artillery. They have, on this flank, 4 units of handgunners, which are quite good against the dwarfs. Their front line, though, is just straight swordsmen all the way across. I think they have 8 units of swordsmen. On this side, we have another 2 units of handgunners. And these crossbowmen, I think there's 3 to get some shots in, and they have quite an artillery line. They have a great cannon, I think 5-6 units of Hellstorm rocket batteries. Yep. And for their leadership, they have Karl Franz here, and his brother Karl Franz here, and a witch hunter. So we'll just press play and see how the battle goes. Soulhammers is going to get right on these Outriders right away, so we can start getting shots into them. They are going to get some shots back, but these Outriders have no armor and no shields, so they're really going to struggle in this engagement, even though they can do a lot of damage to Rangers, and because they don't have a lot of armor, but the Rangers do have regeneration, so they're going to replenish some. So he's already routed 1 unit of Outriders, and he is going to get after the second unit as quickly as he can. Up front, we're taking a little bit of fire coming in from these Outriders, and here comes the Hellstorm rocket batteries. Our Longbeards are going to take a bit of a beating, same with our Grumbling Guard as we close the distance. Now these Hellstorm rocket batteries, I don't know what their ammunition, if it's armor piercing, I don't think. No, it isn't. They have some armor piercing missile damage, explosive base damage, explosive armor piercing, etc. So I know they're beating the heck out of our front line, but in general our Longbeards are going to be pretty resistant to that with all their armor, but they are going to take some damage. There's no way you can stop those Hellstorm rocket batteries from doing damage. So these Outriders have got some grenades in, and they're going to be backing up. We're going to bring my Slayers back around, and I've tried to get some shots in with my Bugman's Rangers here. I've got a little bit in, but not very much. My group of Bugman's Rangers here are going to come up and start getting shots into, I think, the Hellstorm rocket battery. I don't know. Yeah, I've got them into the Hellstorm rocket battery. They're going to start doing heavy damage here right away. I want to get one routing. The second I start firing, they can see me, and these Outriders are definitely going to come and fight. So I'm starting to get my troops to the front line. I want to get that engagement started. I'm going to bring my Rune Lord right into the front line because there's nothing really to worry about with the swordsman. We do have better infantry. I do want to come around and flank on this side with my Slayers, and I'm going to take some heavy damage from these Outriders. On this side, Soulhammer has gotten rid of the Outriders here, and he's starting his engagement on this side. He's definitely got some shots into these Outriders, and he's going to continue to do so, but he's actually going to be able to start flanking and getting into these handgunners in the second row. Yeah, here's the Hellstorm rocket battery we got rid of. You can see that he's got rid of one of my Bugman's Rangers, but I've been able to rout one of his Outriders. And we've got these Slayers coming on back. They're just not quite fast enough to engage, so I'm going to ring these Slayers around and come into the back of their artillery. We're now starting the engagement, the proper start of the engagement. He's firing into my crossbows with my Bugman's Rangers with his crossbows and putting a ton of fire into this unit. So he's going to wither him away. I've got these Longbeards with great weapons on my far flank, and they got to get into the fight. Most of Soulhammer's troops are now starting to engage in this front line, and that's going to tie up his troops and make it hard for his handgunners to get shots. So he's going to take his handgunners and try and just back them off a little bit. But these Slayers have gotten the flank going, and they're going to chase these guys down. I have been able to... I wanted to catch up with my Slayers on these Outriders, but I saw I wasn't going to catch them, so I'm just going to send them into the back of the artillery, and I'm continuing to shoot into these Outriders with grenade launchers. He's going to try to get his handgunners away, but they have 33 speed, and the Slayers have 40 speed, so he's going to be able to win that engagement. And Soulhammer is now bringing up his troops. We have been routed on this side, but we're really starting a true encirclement. I've got my Lord in there fighting. I'm tied up these crossbowmen. And my Grumbling Guard, despite taking heavy artillery fire, have gotten to this line, and we're starting to engage on his crossbowmen there. And we're really starting to push up and start the encirclement on this side. And you can see his Slayers are chasing these handgunners down, and I'm shooting into them with my Bugman's Rangers to kind of keep them going. And we're really just encircling completely on this side, starting to shoot into the center. We've got our troops through their center. Their swordsmen just haven't been able to hold against our Longbeards. Our reserves are finally getting to the line. We don't have a whole lot of time in this battle. It's like really a true quick encirclement, and you know, their Karl Franz and his brother Karl Franz have not been able to make the difference in this fight. The Witch Hunter has been chased down by the Slayers here, my Slayers, and these guys are being chased down over here, so we're starting to completely collapse, and we're going to get a mass rout, and that is the fight. So short and sweet, double Dowie versus double Empire. A fun little battle, quick, straight up encirclement, showing the power of the Dowie infantry and those Bugman's Rangers. They are so good against grenade launchers. I mean, grenade launchers, obviously, they were able to rout one of my Bugman's Rangers, but you know, generally a pretty good fight. And you can see our Longbeards did quite well, 59, 70, 59, and even our Dwarf Warriors did okay with 23. And our Longbeards with great weapons were our reserves, so they weren't in there right away. I wanted to keep them in case they had real heavy cav in the back line, so they were a little late getting up, 39 and 16 kills. Our Slayers got 30 and 78, and our Grumbling Guard got 46. Our Bugman's Rangers, I mean, got a little bit beat up, but did their job. Were a definite distraction on the backside. We'll go to Soulhammer's army. The Slayer King under Iron Fist was able to get 20 kills. His Longbeards, 8, 25, 41, 56, and 48. And again, his Longbeards with great weapons were his reserves as well. And his Slayers were, even though they didn't kill all of the Pistoliers, I mean, they got 0, 0, 0, and 2. So they were able to push them off the field just so, because they can't stand and fight against Slayers. And his Quarrelers with great weapons got 4, and his Bugman's Rangers 9 and 18. So Sneeze and Jigreg are friends, I think, by the sounds of it. So Jig's army, his crossbowmen actually did not too bad, but we were able to get to their back line pretty quick. So if we look at their artillery, they got 7, 3, and 9 kills, and Sneeze's artillery got 1, 7, 12, and 0. So we were able to close that distance effectively, and these Hellstorm rocket batteries are an interesting artillery piece, but they just don't do enough damage against heavily armored troops. His Outrider got 30 and 15, which is not bad. It looks like it was Sneeze's Outriders that got 15 and 30. Well, 15 and 30. Oh yeah, these guys are 0 and 4, so it was Jig's Outriders that got caught early by Soulhammer's Bugman's Rangers and Quarters. So good little fight just for fun. And if you ever want to hit me up for a 2v2, whether you want to play the Dwarfs with me or another faction, find me on Steam. And if I'm on and able to play, lots of times when I'm online and actually playing, I'm doing testing or anything like this, so I'm not always able to just kind of play, but definitely hit me up, because 2v2s are really, really fun. This is my second 2v2 and I had an absolute blast. It was really fun, and I would love to play with anybody who's online and looking for a fun 2v2. And that's about it. So hope you found it interesting, and if you liked it, like it, subscribe, definitely comment. Love comments. And with that said, I will see you soon.